All right, so this is Mike. I'm here in the William and Mary Libraries database, and I'm looking for my topic, Soviet Jewry protest, and I'm just going to go ahead and search for that and see what I come up with. So here's an interesting one: Staging Protest: The New York Jewish Museum and the Soviet Jewry Movement, by Maya Katz, and I'm going to read that article, and I want to incorporate it into my podcast. So let's just take a look at it, and let's maybe grab one more that I was interested in as I was looking through these. So this one's called Ritualized Protest and Redemptive Politics: Cultural Consequences of the American Mobilization to Free Soviet Jewry. That sounds like a good one for me to read. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the online access here. And so I can actually, it looks like I can get it online at JSTOR. So I'll go ahead and click on that. And here it is, Ritualized Protest and Redemptive Politics. And I can just go ahead and download the entire article because I don't want to read it online. And there's the article. So I can just go ahead and read the abstract, and I can read some of it. So once I'm done reading it and I decide what I want to say about it, I'm going to go ahead and pull it into my podcast, and we'll do that next. So here I am reading this article, and there's this great quote that I want to use right here. At a particular moment in American Jewish history, a protest campaign sought to effect a type of change for which established models of political action provided little guidance and inspired even less confidence. Choosing to innovate, young activists began mobilizing Jewish ritual as a form of symbolic protest. So let's say I like that quote and I wanted to actually use it. So here's how I might do it in the podcast. All right, so what I would do, I've got a split screen here that you can see, and I've got Audacity on the left-hand side, and I've got my quote on the right-hand side. And I'll just start recording in Audacity, and I'll read the quote. I'll hit record, and here it goes. And I'll go to my quote, and I'll just start reading. At a particular moment in American Jewish history, a protest campaign sought to effect a type of change for which, and I messed it up, so I'll start again. At a particular moment in American Jewish history, a protest campaign sought to effect a type of change for which established models of political action provided little guidance and inspired even less confidence. Choosing to innovate, young activists began mobilizing Jewish ritual as a form of symbolic protest. So let's say I'm done with that, I'll hit stop. So there's the quote, and now all I need to do is add a little beginning to it. So let's go ahead and create some sort of statement here about what it does. So I'll go ahead and say, in Ritualized Protest and Redemptive Politics, Shaul Kellner describes how American Jews in the 1980s create a new form of ritualized politics. He says, and that's all you need to do. And now let's put it all together. I'm going to go ahead and make this full screen mode so we can look at it. And what do I have here? I've got this beginning part, and I'll listen to that. And we'll hit play. In Ritualized Protest and Redemptive Politics, Shaul Kellner describes how American Jews in the 1980s create a new form of ritualized politics. Okay, so that's all I need. And it's not that great, but I can edit it later. Now I'm going to go ahead and take that quote that's over here, and I'm going to move that. Let me shrink this down a little so we can see it a little better. I'm going to delete this one because I don't like it. So I'm just going to hit the delete button here. And here's that quote that I have, and I'm going to go ahead and unmute that so I can hear it. And let's hear what it sounds like. He says, and here it goes. And I'll go to my quote, and I'll just start reading. At a particular moment... Okay, so there's where it starts. And I'll delete that bit. And now I'll sync these up together, and now we can just have my introduction of the quote. He says, "At a particular moment in American Jewish history, a protest campaign sought to effect a type of change for which," and I messed it up, so I'll start again. "At a particular moment in American Jewish history, a protest campaign sought to effect a type of change for which established models of political action provided little guidance and inspired even less confidence. Choosing to innovate, young activists began mobilizing Jewish ritual as a form of symbolic protest." So let's say I'm done with that. I'll hit. All right, so let's get rid of the stuff that we don't need. I think that's where the quote started, so I'll just hit delete there, and we'll sync that back up, and let's listen to that. He says, "At a particular moment in American Jewish history, a protest campaign sought to effect a type of change for which established models of political action provided little guidance and inspired even less confidence. Choosing to innovate, young activists began mobilizing Jewish ritual as a form of symbolic protest." All right, so that's all I need. I'll delete this last bit. And this is ready to go. I can add it to any podcast that I want as my little quote. I can disagree with it. I can agree with it. I can call in another source, whatever I want to do. And what would I do as far as creating a video piece for this? I would take a snapshot of that quote, and I would just have that appear on the screen as I was reading the quote out loud. And you're basically done. Now you can interact with the quote. You can access it, and you can interpret it. You can use it as part of your argument, or you can argue against it, whatever you want to do. So another thing that you're going to want to do after you quote all of the people, and after you make sure that you have cited all of the images and video that you use, you're going to want to make sure to have a notes area at the back where you're going to have all of your the sources. So I'm going to do this in Google Slides. You just go to a slideshow, you create a slideshow, and now you can say sources. And you can just put down all of the sources in whatever style, whatever notation you want to. So name of author, title of article, publication, year, whatever that's going to look like for you. And you can just do as many of them as you want here, whatever sources you want. And these might be, research sources. And then you might want to have another one with video sources or images. And you can have all those image sources here where people can access them. And then all you really need to do is save them as JPEGs, and you bring those JPEG images in to your video essay at the end, and then those will be still images. Probably I would say leave it on the screen for 5 seconds each still image so that people can pause them if they want to after the video. And you just put those at the end of the video where you've got your research sources, just like credits that you would have in a regular film. And so to create that JPEG in Google Slides, you go to File, you go to Download, and you go Save as JPEG. And you save the current slide, each slide that you want, as a JPEG image. And you can just grab that JPEG and bring it into your video essay. And that's all there is to it.